Welcome back to another episode of Melo School. Today, we are celebrating something important for me. I don't know about you, you've been following along. We make 6 months of podcasting. I'm excited and also kind of like, holy crap, 6 months have passed by. And so I want to share the 6 lessons I've learned throughout this journey of 6 months and hopefully more to come. So let's get right into it. I'm super excited doing another solo episode, and hopefully you enjoyed it. You enjoyed the last one that I made, and hopefully you enjoyed this one as well. So let's get started. The first one is being organized and having a system. And honestly, this is still something I'm working on. I tend to be a very non-consistent person. I struggle with keeping things on schedule. I know there's a lot of people saying to schedule it in your calendar, and if it's not in your calendar, then you're not doing it. I put it on my calendar, but I don't do it anyways. I just don't follow it. I always get distracted by something. Like even like recording this episode now, before I started, I was jamming to music, and so I get distracted really easily. And I know I could just pause the song, but it was such a good song. Like at Maverick, like come on, like you can't pause his music. And so I get really distracted, and so I keep saying and so, but I need to work on, or my lesson is I need to work on my organizations and creating a system. One of the things that I did do was when I edit an episode, I have a specific list of what I need to do. So I know it's putting the ads in the beginning, putting the intro, editing the beginning and the end of an episode, putting the outro. And it's a bit different with the audio and the video itself, like the video version on YouTube, just because I don't put the ads or outros on that. So it's a bit different, but I have everything I need to put, especially when I don't follow it, when I just like do it from my mind, then I usually tend to forget the little logo that goes in the video version. So that's why I need a list, but it definitely has made things easier. Sometimes I forget to use it, and again it goes back with like organization and having a system, because it is helpful, and it's definitely a habit. If you're gonna start anything, is definitely a good habit that you should have, like good organization skills, and have being able to build systems that allow you to be more efficient with your time. This is something I'm still working on, still trying to figure it out. One thing I will say is there's this method I learned recently on how to get like more flow work, and I don't know what his name is, but I'm pretty sure you search up like flow, like how to get more flow or flow work on YouTube, I'm pretty sure it's gonna pop up. But he talks about how a lot of millionaires and billionaires, once they wake up, like the first thing they do is get to work. And sometimes, and like most of us will think like, isn't that a bit like exaggerated, or a bit kind of like not being present with the moment or enjoying your mornings and stuff like that. But he says that we need to balance it. So in order to have more workflow, like it's best to do it like right in the beginning when you wake up, and then once that hour, 2 hours, so like a flow work kind of pass by, you get to do your morning routine and whatever that is. Because if you do things beforehand, like meditation, exercise, yoga, it kind of like distracts you from that workflow. Like it actually prevents it. At least that's what he mentioned. So that's something I'm gonna start doing, and hopefully record their journey through that whole process. But that's a recommendation I will give if you want to go try it out as well. And if you do, leave it in the comments below. Okay, the second thing is feeling I guess my lesson is overwhelmment in general, if I could just put it in one word. And it's because you will feel very overwhelmed, especially when you're starting something and you have no idea what that looks like or what you have to do. And then when you do learn what you have to do, is like you got to learn the skill to do it good. So for example, in the podcast, I have to learn how to edit, how to create good videos, even though I just watch the video and like I just choose whatever I think it's good, like it's a good message, and that's it. Like I don't really do, like I need to work on keywords and hooks and captions and writing, like all of that. It's very overwhelming for me because I I guess this could be like an identity or a label that I put myself, is that I'm not good at writing. So when it has to do with writing or creating some type of words or phrases, and I'm very hesitant, or I feel like it's not good enough. So I feel overwhelmed when I do that. Editing, sending emails, and finding people. That's also a bit overwhelming because I need to go through social media. I need to know that that person is good, is gonna give a good message. It's a fit for the podcast, and then and then another thing I will add is that I don't know how to be efficient with my time, and this kind of goes back with the first one of being organized and having a system, because I tend to procrastinate or distract myself. I I'm not efficient with my time. So I could have the whole day. I could have the whole day, and I would just do the minimum work that I am required to do with the podcast or social media, and then I will be overwhelmed because like I know I could have done more. So that, like, all those factors contribute to my overwhelmment. Sorry, and so I need to organize my time, and by organizing my time, being more efficient with my time, and really being intentional in what I do throughout the day. So then that overwhelmment kind of lowers, because as much as I could find like resources or strategies or tools to lower my overwhelmment, it really goes back to the habits that I have on organizations and being time efficient. So, and if you have any recommendations on time management, definitely leave them on the comments below, because I definitely need them. All right, number 3, we have, you're going to make mistakes. And again, I remember this goes back to the overwhelmment part, because I remember on the first few episodes, when I first obviously when I first started the podcast, the first few videos, I would lose my train of thought. And that would be so annoying. It would be so annoying where I was like, I would just want to like hide into like just like melt into my chair. And that's part of making mistakes. I had to have like a little pep talk with myself where like, it's okay. You're gonna make mistakes. You've never interviewed people before. You've never really expressed your opinions before. You've never really had a voice before. So you, like, an applause for you, because you're getting out of your comfort zone. You're doing what you want to do. You're interviewing amazing individuals who are doing amazing things and who has transformed their lives. And so it's understanding that part, and then also understanding that you're learning. Like, it's okay, you're learning. You as long as you start learning the skills of how to ask better questions, how to talk to an individual, how to interact. And even though you're not speaking, like, non-verbally, like, are you nodding, are you tilting your head? Like, I don't know if you guys read the book Cues by Vanessa Van Edwards, but that's a really good book, and I'm trying to implement some of the stuff, but I gotta be more intentional with that too. But yes, you're gonna make mistakes, and that goes with editing. I remember there's this one video, this one episode where I did the clips, and after I was done editing the small clips, I noticed that the video and the audio did not match, and I was so upset. But because that takes a long, I gotta watch the video, put notes on like where I want the clips to do, and sometimes I just do it directly in CapCut. But then I have to edit those clips, like split it, and then like create new videos and all that. Like, it's a whole process. But so I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Like sometimes, like first of all, I only get like in Instagram, I get like 5 views, and then TikTok sometimes like 200, 300. So I don't think a lot of people are gonna notice. And even though I know it's not great, and like that perfectionist side kind of wants to fix the thing, I know it's not a priority. Like there's other things I could be doing with that time. So I know I know it's out there, but I also know that I gotta prioritize. So gonna make mistakes, and there's still a lot to learn, a lot of skills. So as long as we're learning through our mistakes and then doing research on YouTube, Google, TikTok, whatever you using social media now as a search engine, then you should be good. It's those marginal gains, so it's okay to make mistakes. Period. Number 4, it's commitment. Is that you gotta make a commitment. When I started, I was committed. For February, I was sending last 2 weeks of January. I was sending emails. I probably sent like 30 emails, and out of those 30, only 6 replied. So I guess that could be another lesson for y'all. It's a volume is important, especially when you're starting something, or especially when you do interviews, because not everybody's gonna reply. So imagine I got 24 no's and 6 yeses. So it's definitely not an equal thing. So volume is very important when you want to start something, and being okay with the no's, or even the not answering. I don't know which one's worse. Uh, but yes, going back to the commitment part. I stated committed. I was committed in the beginning, but then you know, events happen. Uh, events happen. The identity crisis where like I shouldn't be doing this. Um, I'm not good enough for this type of thoughts were creeping in, and so April was a really like low moment. And then if you watched the previous episode, you know, in the beginning of May 4th, my ex-boyfriend now broke up. So that was another month where it was like very low, but at the same time I also went to Mexico. So I prioritized being with family and being with family. So I only did like one or two interviews. I did 2 interviews in Mexico, but I barely edited the videos. So I don't even know. I think I had videos already done, and so I had some videos uploaded, but then June was really a bad month where I really didn't posted or published an episode. So I wasn't really committed then. And then now my feelings have been fluctuating a lot. Like, so I think September now is really a time of like being committed. Because again, and it kind of goes back to organizations and having system, because I tend to forget to send emails, or maybe it's me like self-sabotaging. It's probably that, but I don't send the emails, or I don't send the DMs to let people know like, oh, do you want to be on my podcast? Like, this is what it's about, and I think you're a perfect fit. So being committed is definitely important, and know that you're probably gonna fluctuate on your commitment. Like some days you're gonna want to work, some days you're not, but then remembering your why is important. And yeah, I again, this although these are lessons that I'm learning, or mostly like reflections, these are things I am still working on. And like I don't know how much advice I can give you. I just know that from my experiences, like commitment is important, and you hear this all the time. And one of the things I like from Alex Hormozy, this phrase that he uses is, "I will do what's required," because it kind of shows the commitment that you have with what you're doing. So that's a phrase I'm trying to ingrain in my head, in my brain, where like I will do what's required, because that shows the commitment that I have. And at least for me, I want to say that sometimes I feel like I don't have that drive. So I feel because I don't have that drive, I feel like I'm not committed. But learning, and this kind of goes into oh yeah, this goes kind of like with what Erica from the Courage Driven Project, I believe it's called, but her coaching program, but with I think believe it's episode 21 or 22 if you want to go listen to it. But she kind of gave me like a little coaching session in the episode where she asked me what my why was, and that kind of led to me understanding that I was telling the wrong story about I was telling the wrong story on me being me not having a strong why, and why I thought because I didn't have a strong why I was procrastinating, which was really a more of a I'm procrastinating because I don't like certain things about the podcast, and it's not really because I don't have a strong why. I have a strong why, so it's that little mindset shift that I had to do, or still have to do because I'm still working on it, in order for me to stay committed to this podcast. Because if you watch the episode, it really is a strong why. Like, I want to let others know that cell medicine, and not just like material stuff, but cell medicine, like to know information, to know that a transformation is possible, that if you put in the effort and you put and you're efficient with your time, if you are consistent and you're committed, then you will transform your life in whatever you decide to do. And that's also kind of like I use that to my advantage, because the whole reason I started this podcast as well is because sometimes, and even like now, I still don't believe that this transformation is possible. So me hearing from amazing individuals, specifically like women that it's mostly been, it has been a woman, they've all like started a few years ago, and the success that they have, the experiences that they've had are amazing. And so if I stay consistent, if I stay committed, like I could just imagine, I can imagine all the amazing things that I could be doing, helping amazing individuals, traveling, creating events, or making $10,000 a month. Like, that's crazy for me to imagine, but I still imagine it. I still, it excites me, or it brings enthusiasm when I think about it. So stay committed, and is definitely important. If you feel like there's something stopping you, like, definitely reflect. Watch Erica's episode. That probably is gonna help you out. And yeah, stay committed. That's been a big lesson for me, and something I'm still working on, but it's definitely a mindset shift that we gotta make. All right, number 5 is enjoy the process. Enjoying the process is kind of like being present with the things that you're doing, being intentional with the things that you're doing, because not everything's gonna be fun. And I mentioned this with the overwhelming part, but it's enjoying the process, enjoying the little things, the big wins, small wins. For me, there haven't, at least I personally think, they haven't been big moments or big wins, but when I look at the analytics for the podcast, there's people listening in the United States from different states. And maybe it could be that one person who listened to like 5 minutes, or who listened to the whole episode. Shout out to y'all who have watched all the an episode through. And there's also people watching from Pakistan, from I don't even know if I could look at it right now, from Argentina, from Mexico, there was like so many different states, and it's crazy. Here we go. United States, it's 92%. Pakistan is 5%. Like 5%, that's crazy. Mexico, 2%. United Kingdom, Canada, Argentina, Colombia, Romania, and I think there were a few more in the website. But these are all that I have here, and it's crazy to like shout out to all these countries who are listening to my podcast. It's not even countries, to the individuals, to the amazing individuals who are watching my podcast or listening to my podcast from different parts of the world. I'm super grateful. And so I don't even know why I mentioned that, but going back to enjoying the process, it's I'm someone who tends to not be in the present moment, and so enjoying the process or liking the some of the things that I have to do that it's required for the podcast. It's another and I mentioned this with the commitment parts. It's a mindset shift that I gotta make, and so I've been. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. It's been hard, especially because I'm not consistent with it, and so I don't really put much time into the podcast. If I'm being honest, this month is something I really want to be more intentional and really stay committed and enjoying the process. I mean, I love watching the podcast episodes, mostly because I enjoy the conversation, and two, because I get to reflect on like I could have done this better. Maybe Andrea from the future will like do a future episode for when we do a 1 year anniversary, but I really definitely need to enjoy more the posting on social media. That's something I really struggle with, or I tend to struggle with, and being consistent with that. Because I editing the podcast episode itself is pretty easy. It's just the clips and then the social media stuff that's definitely again overwhelming. So that's a thing I need to start enjoying more, because it's really what takes most of my time when working on a podcast. And so enjoying the process is a lesson I'm trying to learn, and definitely a one that I saw repeatedly when I was reflecting on what I should say for the 6 lessons that I've learned. All right. And then the last one, number 6, is, and I kind of mentioned it throughout the whole thing, it's I need to do mindset shifts. I got to do mindset shifts, and then that kind of leads to have to start breaking identities that I have about myself. And this one, I think the first time I realized this was with Erica's episode, where when I was talking about the why, where I thought the why wasn't strong enough or wasn't good enough because I was a procrastinator. So that really made me think like, oh damn, like I thought I had it, or I thought it was gonna be a bigger reason, but it was really just it went back to thoughts and to the story I was telling myself. And so that's a mindset shift and an identity shift that I gotta make. And so that was really important. And then the second one was the recent one with Sophia, which the episode is gonna come out, if this is out already. Her episode's coming out in 2 weeks. So I asked her a question about social media and why some people, it was something about like why I wasn't consistent with it. If like I tend to forget to be in social media, because I'm not really I'm not addicted to social media, so I tend to forget to go into the app and like post and whatever. And it went back to mindset shifts, because it was like I see social media as an addiction, so it not being good, and so me not wanting to be on the platform, and me not wanting to be on the platform. This goes back to the mistakes that I was talking about. I tend to forget how to form sentences. But yeah, so that was another mindset shift I need to make. I shouldn't see social media as a place of toxicity or it being an addiction. So see it as an opportunity to share my opinions and my voice, or give value to the people who are watching my content. And so with that, I get to be more intentional with the videos that I do create, and knowing who my target audience is and the message that I want to give. So that mindset shift on social media was definitely an important one. And I probably wouldn't have seen it that way if she hadn't mentioned it that way. So definitely go book a call if you're struggling with social media content, and and book everybody else from the previous episodes who has a coaching program or coaching sessions, finance. I believe it's mostly finance, and then if you want to start a project, if you want to start your social media stuff. So definitely go check them out. There's a little ad for them. And so mindset shifts, and this kind of also goes with like the commitment part and talking about marginal gains and the compound effect, because if I keep doing the work that I have to do, and being consistent with it, it's gonna, and reflecting with those actions and improving in it could be in a very subtle way or a very big way, but it's gonna create a compound effect. And it's kind of the same thing it's the same. I believe it's the same concept with marginal gains, because you don't want additive marginal gains because it's just gonna be a straight line. You want compounded marginal gains where it's going on a curve. So you do little things, but it's being compounded, so it grows exponentially. So I think using that to our advantage helps a lot with the identities that we have about ourselves, because we start creating evidence of the identity that we want, and starts downsizing or eliminating the identity that we don't want. So I think that's really, really important, and it kind of goes back with commitment, because if you have a goal of at least right now I have a goal of 1,000 listeners, so I could put ads on my for one of the reasons is to put ads on the thing, and I could start making a bit of money. Besides having 1,000 listeners is gonna be amazing. But yes, so that's, I forgot what am I again? Mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. You gotta be organized with I have my post-it notes right here on like the 6, but I think on the 6 lessons that I've learned, but I think I should have been more in detail. So I just have the thing, but then I kind of have to think on my feet on what I'm saying. And this is funny because, well, at least for me, it's gonna be funny because I was supposed to put out like the time I'm recording this, like this episode should have been out already. So I'm gonna, me not being organized with my time and not kind of being committed to when I have to do things, I'm gonna edit the episode today and then post it probably like at night, just so because I want to stay consistent, and even though it's not a time that it should have been, at least I put it out. And so it kind of goes with the consistency part, but definitely not with the organizations. But it's still a win for me when I do put this episode out. So yeah, and that was another little rant or little side note because I forgot what I was saying. But going back to number 6, and the last one is with the mindset shifts, it's definitely important. And I guess my advice to myself and advice to those who want to hear it is to be to really reflect on the thoughts that you have, or if you feel like you're struggling with something in terms of like the with the project that you have, see what's that block, like what's that story you're telling yourself, and then switch it. Start doing some actions that start negating the identity or the story that you're telling yourself, right? So then again, marginal gains, compound effects, you start forming new identities, new habits, and maybe you won't see it, or we won't see it in the beginning, but those changes are going to be happening, and then bam, exponential growth, baby. So I don't know why I said that. Yeah, so those are the 6 lessons. Being organized and having a system is important. Overwhelming is part of the process, but it's just, we got to learn the skills, we got to learn the tools in order, also like stress management, but definitely the skills that we need to learn and make things more efficient. Number 3 is you're gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. I already made a bunch of mistakes throughout this whole episode, but it's better to put it out there and knowing that you did the best that you could, and that you're learning through this whole thing, and doing 5-10 episodes repeatedly, it's not gonna be time efficient. And I think I did pretty good. So besides all the mistakes that I did, I think I did pretty good. And so number 4 is stay committed, do what's required. Say I will do what's required. Go watch Alex Hormozi's videos. That's definitely a good thing, especially if you're on the online space and digital and social media stuff. That's definitely, he has a free course, so definitely go check it out. 100 million leads acquisition.com. So go check it out. And then number 5, enjoy the process. And then number 6, mindset shifts and identities. So that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I was I was gonna do this a bit shorter, but it ended up being 30 minutes. So thank you so much if you stayed to the end. I'm super excited. I still can't believe it's been 6 months. It's crazy. It's 6 months, and it doesn't, like, time. If you watch my previous episode, you know how I feel about time, and time is going really quick. I really felt like I didn't, or really feel, I felt like I didn't feel August. Like August just went by, and it's like it just said hi and bye. That's it. So again, it goes back to being intentional, and I think that's another lesson I'll put, like, a little number 7 is being intentional with what you do is really important, because that brings out the energy that you want to portray. And so I definitely should have put that in number 1, as the number 1 lesson is being intentional with your time. But I wanted to be more specific in the things that we could have done, but being intentional is important, because it leads to a bunch of stuff, a lot of factors, like energy, the effort that you put in, and the enthusiasm, your why, all of that. But that's it. That's all I gotta say. So thank you again so much. I'm super excited for the next 6 months. So when we hit a 1 year and I can't see the growth, like, maybe, like, right now I'll look back into this video and I'll be like, oh shit, why that video was not that great or not as good as I thought it was gonna be. But I did it. I got out of my comfort zone, and I hope you get out of your comfort zone out today and the whole week and the whole year, so that you can transform your life as well. And super excited to continue this journey, to build a community where I could see a lot of amazing individuals, a lot of chingones, and yeah, I'm just excited. And even though sometimes I don't feel excited, right now I'm feeling excited. I feel excited, and I'm feeling motivated to keep on working. So I'm gonna be editing this video, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Go listen to the rest of the episodes, because they're also amazing. And I'll see you in the next one. One of those. Leave it in the comments below which is the right one. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye.